Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Fight Sport Manila Verbal Sparring!
Hey, what's up, guys? Paulo Gonzalez, Fight Sport Manila, and welcome to another episode of Verbal Sparring. Thank you so much for joining us on the past episodes, and today is going to be equally amazing. But before anything else, let's give a shout out to our sponsors. That intro was made by none other than Lenny Hart, legendary ring announcer in MMA. And if you would want to have your own ring back, podcast intro or shout out, all you have to do is visit lennyhart.com. And of course, the one who is sponsoring our clothes, it's none other than Bad Boy PH. Bad Boy PH is known for the MMA scene, for sponsoring fighters, but what you guys don't know is that they're more than that. They also support musicians, actors, and all of that. They have one of the best rosters of ambassadors ever. And of course, we have a special episode. We have Coach George Hickman, and that wouldn't be possible without our kababayan, Joey Angeles. So maraming salamat, Joey. And they are from Tiger Muay Thai. And if you don't know what Tiger Muay Thai is, it is one of the top gyms in MMA on Thailand and arguably the world, because all of the, like, Petr Yan, Alex Volkanovski, Valentina Shevchenko, and many more UFC and One Championship fighters are training there. And we're going to learn more about them in this episode. But before all of that, let's give it to our producer, Cholo Gonzalez. Cholo, what's up?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Cholo Gonzalez here. Again, thank you for staying up late. We're really excited to have our next guest. You know what, Paulo? I could say, like, there are two TMT teams right now. And
Yeah.
it looks like Tiger Muay Thai is bringing the gold, if you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, thanks again to our sponsors, and thanks to you guys for staying up. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, just hit us up below. I'll make sure to flash your questions, and we'll make sure to have a great time with Coach George Hickman.
Yeah, definitely. And again, thank you so much, Joey Angeles. You know, she's been very kind to us, Cholo. And I think it's
Yeah,
best
of
that
course.
you guys, if you guys are watching right now, I'm sure she'll watch this stream. Better give her a shout out and a thank you, because, I mean, we won't have these amazing guests without her.
Joey Angeles, the best.
Yes. Yes, she is. Now, let me introduce our guest right now. He was an MMA fighter. He's a three-time wrestling state champion. He is the head coach of Tiger Muay Thai. He is none other than George Hickman. Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for accommodating us at this time. It means so much to us. How is the situation there right now in Thailand?
Yeah, of course. No worries. The situation here is, I think it's pretty much like back to normal. However, there's just not a lot of foreigners in the country right now. You know, and obviously you have to wear a mask everywhere that you go. But I would say, like, life is back to normal for the most part. It's just a lot different than what we're used to, obviously. So hopefully sooner than later, tourists will be allowed back into Thailand.
Yeah, hopefully, because I've been checking Joey's Instagram and Facebook. I can see that you are allowed to bring limited number of trainees of tourists in there. So that's pretty good. At least everything starts rolling. You yourself, how are you handling in this situation?
It's obviously, it's like anybody else in the world. It's something that we're not used to, but yeah, I'm dealing with it okay. And it's like I said, I'm back coaching every day and teaching, so it's good to be back into the swing of things.
Yeah, perfect. And I just want to start off with a fan question or a fan confession. It's in Tagalog, but I'll translate it to you. I'll just read it first. It's from Antiera. May confession ako, more than training, the reason I really want to travel to Thailand and visit Tiger Muay Thai is to buy their 5XL leggings na may malaking logo sa side. So I think Ant wants to get his hands on some of your merch. Are you selling merch on your website?
Yes, you can go to the Tiger Muay Thai webpage, and there will be an area you can, venture over to our gear store, and they'll have everything that you want to buy there. And I'm sure there's probably pretty good discounts right now through COVID, so be a good time to buy.
Okay, Ant, you heard that, and everyone else who's watching, you heard it. Go visit the Tiger Muay Thai website. And speaking of that, Coach, like I said earlier off cam, when we posted your photo, there were a number of fans who keep sending us photos of you being in one championship press conferences. Could you tell us like how many times have you been in Manila already?
Um, I think I've been to Manila. I want to say 4 times, 3 or 4 times, maybe five. I can't remember exactly, but I've been there quite a few times. I like Manila. It's great energy in the stadium, so it's always a good time.
Yeah, true. That's one of the photos of the one sent to us. I think that's Brian, and I think he caught you during the press conference. Now, Coach, I want to congratulate you off the bat, man. Like Petr Yan, Alex Volkanovski, you guys are on a roll. How does it feel that Tiger Muay Thai is getting recognition in all the whole MMA scene right now?
It feels good. It's I think things are moving in the right direction for our gym, and we have a great coaching staff that really comes together. So it's I'm lucky to have the other coaches around me that I have that really elevate our team and push it to the next level. It's just I'm the head MMA coach, but there's much more than just me. We have great BJJ coaches, we have great striking coaches, we have great boxing coaches, we have great fitness coaches. So it's really a team effort, and yeah, I think that it's starting to show now.
Yeah, I hear you, and I'm not aware if you've heard like Joe Rogan on his podcast shouted out Tiger Muay Thai. He says like everyone who goes there started turning into beast once they gone to the UFC. What is the difference of Tiger Muay Thai from other gyms that foreigners or people who's not from Thailand would want to fly in there and train?
I think it's just it's like you said, it's a very different gym. None of our fighters are, for the most part. We have some top fighters that fight MMA now, but most of them are people that come here for their specific fight camps. And we help them prepare. But I would say that just it's probably like some parts of the Philippines, like near the beach. It's just it's a very laid back vibe. It's very obviously not the training is laid back, but everything else is, and that's the beaches right here. So it's always great weather, and it's just I think for fighters it's become like a fighter haven, because people can come here for cheap, live for cheap when they train, and it's just a very stress-free environment. And I think in fighting that, especially in MMA, where the stakes are so high all the time, I think it's just a good peace of mind to be able to come in a warm climate, get very good training, where you can eat healthy everywhere, and you're just stress free. Even though you have a fight coming up, I think it's a lot better training here and not having to deal with all the outside stresses and problems that you may face, if you were home. So it's a great place to be.
Yeah, that is my follow-up question. I've been looking at the Tiger Muay Thai IG and of course Joey and yours. It's like paradise. Like I see you guys training on one photo and on the next you're like chilling on the beach with fresh fruits. Is that really how it is when you train in Tiger Muay Thai?
Yeah, I think for the most part, like training anywhere in Thailand is great, but if there's a beach near, it makes it even better. So I think that's very appealing to people. Again, the cost of living here is compared to like most Western countries is very cheap, and all the perks that come with it. After you're done training, zipping down to the beach and getting a mango smoothie or whatever, or a coconut, and just hanging out. Like it's just a really good vibe.
Exactly. The vibe is really awesome when looking at it. And it's like, you could separate the hard work from the fun immediately. Is that the reason why you decided to relocate there?
I didn't, no, not, specifically. I came here, the first time or I came here and I ended up staying here. But I came here for the tryouts in 2014 and I made the team, and it wasn't long after that I started coaching. And I was the assistant coach for a bit. And then I was still fighting once I became the head coach, but it's been probably 3.5 years since my last fight. And I knew that like I loved coaching and I loved fighting, and one of them was going to suffer. So coaching was more of the long game for me. So it was a good decision.
It seems so, especially with the type of results your fighters are getting. You mentioned about being a fighter. I've read a question there, Cholo, regarding I think it's from Dane regarding coach. There we go. So this is from Dane Torres. What did you learn from being a fighter, and how did you apply your experience in coaching top world class fighters?
I think number one, being an MMA coach, like being in an actual fight, is a plus, because you know what it's like to be in there. And fighting is very different from most sports. It's very similar to me to wrestling, but it's still different. But as a coach, you know what it's like. Like competing and being a fighter, like it gives you that feeling. You know what it's like to go out there and to fight in front of hundreds or thousands of people, and you know what it takes for the training to what you have to put into it to be successful. And I just think like both of those things kind of, transfer to being a coach and helps you.
Yeah. And as you can see in the video, you got guys like Petr Yan training there. How does that work? Are they the ones approaching you, or are you the ones scouting them and inviting them to train over?
Everyone's kind of different, but most of the people that come to Tiger have even either heard about us through a friend or social media or word of mouth somehow, or that they see something on the internet, and obviously now we're starting to get more recognition of as a good gym. So everyone's kind of different. But Petr Yan came here. He was either an amateur still or he had one professional fight. I can't really remember. And he's done every camp at Tiger since then, other than one time when he went to train with Jose Aldo before one of his, when he was still fighting in ACB, I believe. So he's been here ever since. And, I help him and my brother helps him. And actually, John Boy, who's one of our boxing coaches, is his, I would say his head coach. He was the one that's been cornering for his last 2 fights. So just kind of like, what I said before, we have such a great coaching staff. So, it's easy to help all the fighters that we have coming through.
Yeah, and speaking of the striking of Petr is out of this world. I don't know if I'm sure you've watched the fight. During the first round, Aldo was on the ground and he immediately hits him on the body, and Aldo already winced in pain. What kind of game plan were you strategizing, like the whole team, when it comes for Petr's match to Aldo?
Well, obviously, you had to be aware of the leg kicks, but Petr's a very high IQ fighter, and he's a pressure fighter as well. But the first couple of rounds, Petr's taking in information, seeing what his opponent is doing and whatnot. And yeah, it was just, I think, a matter of time. Like, obviously, everyone, from here was expected Petr to win. And he went out there and did it as we all thought he would. He's just, he stuck to the game plan and pressured him and stayed on him and, relaxed a bit when he had to, and ended up finishing him and putting him away.
Yeah, true. And before we continue our conversation, let's get a fan question. This is from Kevin. Around Asia, which country is the best in your opinion, such as China, Korea, Japan, and the Philippines? This is
Uh,
a tough question in a
this
way,
is
but
this is
please go
from
on.
this is actually from Korean Kevin. I know him,
Oh, okay.
and he speaks Filipino as well.
Oh, cool. What's up?
Yeah, he speaks
Kamusta,
Korean,
Kevin?
English, and Filipino. He's an
Oh, that's really
interesting
nice.
character. Um, I would let's pass that question.
All right, we're gonna pass that question. I mean, you should experience it, Kevin. I think
No,
it's best
I
that you
think that
experience.
all the Asian countries now have come up, and MMA is not like it was 5 to 10 years ago. They're all very good now.
Yeah, definitely. Here's another fan question from Lester Escosura. Coach, can we also call you the Tiger King? Wow, that's a valid question. Can we call you the Tiger King?
Uh, you can, Lester. No one else can, but you can.
Oh, there you go, Lester. You are the only one who could call him the Tiger King. Which is, like I said, man, it's amazing how you did with Pewter. But another thing is with Alex Volkanovski. He dig deep during those last 3 rounds. Are those kinds of things stuff you prepare for during his match with Holloway?
Well, Alex actually did the tryouts with me in 2014, and he still comes out here. He comes to train and vacation. He trains with my brother and I, and all the other guys on the team that have been around here a while. But when he comes, he works with my brother a lot, one on one with his wrestling and stuff. But before this fight, he wasn't out at all. Obviously, through the situation of COVID. But
Yeah.
it's kind of, we have a great connection at Tiger with City Kickboxing as well. Um, so he'll come, like sometimes he'll come out to Tiger for a week or two, and then he'll go to New Zealand and also training at his house in, where he's from in Australia. Or my brother will go out with him in City Kickboxing in New Zealand. So it's kind of like it's a pretty cool thing that we have with those gyms. But for this fight, I didn't really know much of I kind of had an idea of what his game plan was, but, I wasn't involved in any of that. He has his head coach, Joe Lopez, and Brad Riddell, and my brother, and Eugene Behrman from City Kickboxing. So I don't really have anything to do with him other than when he comes to Tiger, I help him.
Yeah, I think we just saw Brad on the video flashed earlier. Now,
Yeah.
there are a lot of beasts in Tiger Muay Thai. Are there any fighters that the viewer should watch out for? Like, like I think when you had when you had your interview with Luke Thomas, you said Petr Yan is the guy to watch out for. I'm asking you at this moment, who should we watch out for?
Ah, in promotions that maybe everyone would know, we have we have quite a few in ONE FC, Biak Misatit or Pong Siri Misatit. We have a bunch of guys that are fighting soon on the upcoming One Championship show that people won't really know now, but I think they will after these fights, and they will eventually. And we have Loma Lokboonmee, who's in the UFC. She's the first Thai national and the only Thai national to be in the UFC. And then we have a bunch of other upcoming fighters that are in smaller promotions in Australia and different places. So we always have a pretty good stable of fighters that are not yet in One Championship or in the UFC that are still coming up. And we have Top Noi, who's Thai as well. He's in Ryzen. So look out for him as well.
Well, there, guys. Those are the names you have to look out for. You mentioned one. One would have an event there by the end of the month. Are there any of your fighters who would be competing?
Yes, we have 4 or 5 fighters that will be competing.
Oh, that's good. So, guys, you have to watch out the TMT fighters going there. And let's go to a fan question from George Ambas. Any plans to fight again? By the way, I think I saw you training with Brian Stann back then in one of the Genghis Khan film videos. I think it's the best time to answer that, Coach, if it is a myth or the truth.
Well, the second part is true, but the first part, no, I do not have any plans of fighting again. I still train a little bit, but very small amount, and Yeah, I have. I'm happy being a coach. I don't have to get punched in the face anymore. But yeah, you did see me in a video with Genghis Khan, who's he's actually the video guy now. His name is Ike. He is Jorge Masvidal's videographer, and he was
Oh,
one of my friends when I lived there. So, or still is, but he's a very good videographer. So check that out.
well, there you go, guys. You better check out the other videos because apparently, Coach George was there with Brian Stann before. Speaking of Brian Stann, could you tell us how your training or your relationship as teammates started?
I'm when I graduated from college, I moved back home to North Carolina after I was done wrestling, and I had 2 amateur fights, and then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia after that, and I probably trained there for like a year, and I had a knee surgery, and when I came back, I met him, and we wrestled one time, and started talking after that, and yeah, he was. I have a good relationship with him. He's kind of like a he's the epitome of I would say like what you would strive to be as a man. He's one of the best people that I've ever met. He was like a big brother to me. You know, he helped me and whatnot when I was a professional earlier in my career before I moved here, and he actually helped a bit with helping me get to Thailand. So yeah, he's we stay in contact, and he's just a really good person.
Yeah, a cool story about Brian Stan is he was one of the commentators on the only UFC show in Manila, and during breaks he actually jumps off the barricade just to have photos with the fans. That's how nice
Yeah,
Brian Stan is.
that sounds like Brian Stann. That's the type of guy that he is.
Yeah, definitely. And going on, coach, you said you've been there, you tried out. Is there anything is there I know you guys already have like the best fighters, but what else do you think Tiger Muay Thai could improve?
Ah, I think we can always improve. I mean, we can always improve in every aspect, whether it's the Muay Thai training and the BJJ. Like I would say, um, we're always trying to improve as a gym, whether it's the coaching staff, staying up to par with new things, or the sanitary part of the gym, or like uh, since I've been here, the gym's changed completely. In 2014, it was like pretty much held up by bamboo, but now it's like a state of the art. Like as my mom called it when she came for the first time, she said it was like a combine, like a like almost like a military base, but obviously with like fun things to do. But no, we're always trying to strive to be better, and not only as a gym, but I would say all of our coaches, on the MMA side as well. We're always trying to improve.
Now, this is a fantasy question from Ant Sierra. If you can add one fighter to the TMT roster, regardless of her current training camp, who would it be and why? Yeah, that's a good question. Like, if you see a fighter, who would you want to be in Tiger Muay Thai?
I wouldn't say there would be one person that I would want to. Sorry to not answer the fantasy question, but I wouldn't say like there would be one person, that I would want to add. I would, the people that we have, I would want them to, to help them continue to improve, and whoever else comes and stays, I want to help. But as far as like going to like recruit somebody or get somebody there, that's not. I have no intentions of doing that.
Oh, cool. And this is another fan question. It's in Tagalog, but roughly translated, he says that you have cunning resemblance to Chris Evans. He's Captain America. Are you has someone told you that already, or is
To
this the
who?
first time you're hearing it?
Chris Evans?
Chris Evans, Captain America.
Oh, no, that is a first that I've ever heard of that actually. But thank you. I don't know if that's a compliment, if that's good or if that's bad, but yeah, I have not heard that before.
I think it's good. I mean, it's Captain America, so
Yeah,
I don't think you could go bad with
I would
Captain
think that would
America.
be a good thing. So I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and another question I have is that you mentioned a lot of Thai fighters. Were there any Filipino fighters who tried to try out for you guys, or are there any current ones who are
Um,
training there? I just saw.
Yeah, I saw that photo. Now I know what you're talking about. To be honest with you, we've had Filipino fighters come through. I can't name anybody right offhand. Um, Heck, I can't even name, who was here like right before COVID happened. It's the gym is like, it's such a big gym, like when the world is normal and COVID isn't happening, there's 500 people that come through the gym in, a couple of days during the higher season. So I couldn't name them right offhand, but yes, there have been there's been some famous Filipino, I think, actors or something that have come through, and yeah,
Yeah. I think Joey told me Luis Manzano trained there,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he's a big name here.
yeah.
Now, what are the qualities you're looking for before you accept someone into Tiger Muay Thai? Like, aside from their skills, what else are you looking for? So at least if there's local fighters watching this episode right now, so at least they would be aware on what they should work on.
I would say outside of skill, obviously skill is an important thing, but more importantly than that, someone that's a hard worker, someone that is coachable, would be, great qualities, as well as being a good teammate, because, the team is very important, and to keep that aspect. So I would say someone that's a hard worker, a good teammate, and is coachable and listens.
Oh, perfect. And another thing about Tiger Muay Thai is that you have some amazing female athletes. I mean, Valentina Shevchenko trained there, and also I believe Rika Ishige from One Championship and Bing Nguyen also trained there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yep.
Now, how do you guys like build the women's side of training? Do you mix them up with the training of everyone, or do they have like specific women's only training?
No, the women fighters that we have at Tiger, the female fighters, they train in the same classes with the men. Sometimes they train with some of the men, and sometimes they train with the other girls. I would say in the last 2 years we've been lucky. We've had a lot of female fighters come through Tiger and choose to train there. So it's been good. I enjoy training women. Female fighters are a lot of times easier to train than men.
Oh, really? Well, that is a good tidbit for everyone watching right now. Now, another fan question. It's from the outlaw John Adahar. Is Fabricio Andrade ready for Mark Abelardo on the 31st? So I think this is the one event, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was, I think, released this week, actually, if I don't remember correctly. Yes, Fabricio is he's in very good form, and I'm very excited for his fight. I can't wait to see, because I don't think a lot of people have any idea who he is. So it's going to be exciting.
Well, we have to watch that because it's going to be the first one event in a long time, and you guys have to see these fighters. Now, Coach, I have to ask you. There are different training methods when it comes to preparing for a fight camp. Is Tiger Muay Thai the type of fighter, the type of camp who likes lessens the load before the fight day begins, or do you guys just keep training hard all throughout until the weight cut comes in?
No, the week of the fight, we taper back. It's very very different than the weeks leading up to fight week and fight day. But they all of our fighters, they'll be in good form. They'll be in good form.
Now, Coach, for all the fans watching, the tourists, if they would go to Thailand and train at Tiger Muay Thai, what would they expect?
Very good training, a friendly place to train, and I think people would be blown away, once they actually got to Tiger and walked around and toured the facility of, what a great facility that it is. And not just that, but, the facility is just a piece of land and some structure, but I think it's the people within it that make it what it is. So I think that people would be, very excited to not only have a great training place, but, great coaches and trainers that are helping them, and, as well as the experience that you get when you come to Tiger, because it's not just training and whatnot. People come here and make lifelong friends for the rest of their life. So it's a very different place that is, got a bunch of people with the same goals in mind that are, trying to achieve things.
It seems so, because I think all of you guys are so interconnected with each other. Like if I see Instagram posts from Pewter or Alex or Dan, you guys, like some of you guys comment each other, or you guys check out each other from time to time. Now, for the tours again, do you guys also have how like accommodation aside from the training facilities? Like, is there a place they could stay if they
Yeah.
train there?
Yeah, of course. So Tiger is on one end of a street called Soy Tayed, and I would be willing to bet that there's not another street like it in the world. But it's about, I don't know, a mile long maybe, from one end to the other. And within that street, there's healthy restaurants, there's Thai restaurants, there's hotels everywhere. There are villas on the street. There are tattoo shops. There are 7-Elevens, Family Marts. It's just a very, very different street and atmosphere than that's different from what people are used to. So yes, to answer your question, you could find, take your pick of many different hotels.
Now you've said too many nice things about Thailand. Do you plan to like when you grow old, do you plan to just stay there, or do you plan to go back to the States, or is that where you want to be?
I would say, when I first moved here the first year, it was I don't know, I was in awe of the place. And I would have said I would never leave. And I always say now, like for the first, I wouldn't say never, because you don't know what's going to happen. But I would say for right now, I'm very happy with, what I'm doing and where I'm at. I love Thailand. I love Thai culture. I mean, my wife is Thai. I have a half Thai baby. So for right now, I'm here for the long haul.
Oh, that's cool, because it means that if anyone visits Tiger Muay Thai, there's a big chance you guys could see Coach George there.
Of course.
You always hang out. Perfect. Now, Coach, thank you so much for the time. But before we let you go, man, is there anything you would like to get off your chest? Like anything you would want to promote, any of your socials or whatnot?
You guys can follow me at GHick1, GHICK1 on Instagram and Twitter. But no, man, thank you for the time. And again, I love Manila. I love the Philippines, and you guys are a fighting nation, and probably and all the one events, I would say Bangkok and Manila are the best events because the fans are so good. So it's always a pleasure to come to Manila. I always enjoy it. So keep being great fans.
Well, that's so nice of you, Coach. And hopefully after everything gets back to normal, hopefully, we could meet each other when we're in Manila, or we could go there, whatever happens. But thank you so much. You're a class act. You have a great evening, sir. Thank
you. I appreciate the time.
No worries. And for all of you guys watching, this is Fight Sport Manila Verbal Sparring, where we bring the fighters closer to the fans and the fans closer to the fight. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen,